He barely survived his last fight, and it shows. Seo Jun-ho, a hunter running on fumes, staggers toward a hidden spire flanked by a talking ice spirit and a lumbering stone golem. Small gatekeepers question him at the gate, then wave the golem's escort away. It crumbles to gravel. Their message: from here he walks alone. Alone, Jun-ho pushes through the forest toward the tower, breath ragged, legs failing until he collapses and drags himself the rest of the way on his hands. He reaches the ancient door and presses his palm against it, and it answers. Light floods out, a torrent of blue energy swallowing him whole. The light clears and Jun-ho rises, his hair bleached white, power humming off him like static. A hooded stranger flashes into being before him, the great sage himself. "You sought me out earlier than I expected," the old man says, sizing him up. "And younger than I thought too, Seo Jun-ho." The great sage admits he's blind. He hasn't seen the world in years, only felt it through his spirits and heard it through their ears. He asks if the trek exhausted Jun-ho. Jun-ho says the road was smooth. The sage clarifies. He doesn't mean the walk here, but the far harder path of a lonely, sacrifice-worn life, a hero's path. The sage calls him by another name, Specter, and cuts to the point. He's here because his body is wrecked from besting a foe called Janabi, and he wants it fixed. The sage can't heal the damage himself, but lays out two paths forward, the safest being to turn back and keep receiving treatment from the Schumann Saintess. The other option: track down the Lightning Lord, a master at purging tainted life force who could also steer Jun-ho toward training under one of the 9 heavens, even starting from rock bottom. The sage needles him, does serving as a disciple wound Specter's pride. Jun-ho brushes it off, grateful, and offers payment for the advice. The sage waves off any price. The world's beauty is payment enough for him, wanting for nothing. Meanwhile, across the city, in Ho, an analyst buried in status reports sighs over endless updates on someone she's tracking. A sharp-eyed official beside her asks how many people alive carry 2 or more elemental attributes, and she looks up, intrigued. Meanwhile, In-ho runs the numbers again, and the answer barely changes. Fewer than 10 people alive carry more than 1 elemental attribute. "Very few, just as I thought," she mutters. As she says it, an image flickers through her mind, a hunter wreathed in blue light, eyes burning like frost. Jun-ho. Back at the spire, Jun-ho accepts the sage's guidance without hesitation. The Lightning Lord waits in the northern shadowing mountains, and that's where he's headed next. The old sage bids him farewell, promising they'll meet again, and by nightfall, Jun-ho and the ice spirit are already walking the empty road out of the valley. Watching him go, the sage feels something heavier settle in, flashes of tears, of a girl, a gunslinger, an archer, and Jun-ho himself bleeding from a crimson wound pressed through his mind. Fate isn't finished with this one, the sage senses. Whatever's coming for Jun-ho has no intention of letting go. On the road, the ice spirit needles Jun-ho about the cold, then about flinching at its icy touch, and he brushes it off with a tired half-smile. The peaks ahead are brutal, no beasts, no cover, just silence. 3 days later, the blizzard has only gotten worse, and Jun-ho collapses into the snow, forcing them to make camp early. By the fire, Jun-ho is fading fast. He never packed extra supplies, and this storm is worse than any monster he's fought. He can barely rasp out a request for water. The ice spirit warms a sip for him, panicked, and voices the fear neither wants to say aloud. What if the Lightning Lord isn't even at the summit? Jun-ho refuses to turn back. Feverish but resolute, Jun-ho pushes past the doubt. He needs to get stronger or he won't be able to protect anyone, and honestly, it was never about justice or peace. It's the faces of the people who needed him, the friends still fighting, the ones still waiting on him to come back. He can't let them down. Gritting through the fever, Jun-ho decides the storm is nothing he can't handle. He and the ice spirit push through the dark tree line and finally crest the summit. The spirit darts ahead to scout while Jun-ho rests. Then a lone figure appears in the white distance, and the spirit's voice cracks with urgency. Contractor. Frost lets out a scream that splits the wind. Contractor. Jun-ho lies collapsed in the snow, and out of the blizzard, a lone stranger in a straw hat and heavy fur cloak trudges toward them. One of the Lightning Lord's disciples, drawn by the commotion. Jun-ho jolts awake coughing in an unfamiliar room, sunlight pouring through the window. Where is this place? He rasps, calling out for Frost. The ice spirit swoops in, relieved he's conscious, while a stranger nearby checks on him and offers tea as his head spins with an odd sense of déjà vu. Turns out that after Jun-ho collapsed, disciples of the Lightning Lord, the world's top-ranked player, stumbled onto him and hauled him back to their master's hideaway. Jun-ho's pulse races. Is he really about to meet the second heaven himself, the undisputed master of thunder? A scarred, shirtless giant glances over and grunts. "Ah, you're up." Jun-ho tries to greet him properly, but the Lightning Lord waves it off. No patience for manners, he says between coughs. Jun-ho thanks him for the rescue anyway. "Thank my disciple, he's the one who dragged you in here." The Lightning Lord grunts, looking him over. "You still hurt. Guess I'll look after you a few days." Jun-ho admits why he made the trek. He needs healing. The Lightning Lord shrugs and agrees to examine him, asking his name. "Seo Jun-ho," he answers. "Good name," the old master mutters, then his fist crackles with lightning. "Don't get scared. Can't treat you with ordinary methods," he warns, pulling out a jug of liquor. The Lightning Lord forces liquor down Jun-ho's throat while sparking electricity straight through him. Frost winces, calling it torture dressed up as medicine. Jun-ho chokes and convulses until it's finally over. Combine booze with a jolt and it clears the blockages in your veins. The Lightning Lord explains. Whole body should feel lighter now. The Lightning Lord makes an odd request. Once he's healed, he wants to teach Jun-ho a skill in return. Jun-ho agrees without hesitation. That night he trains alone under the stars while the Lightning Lord watches from afar, quietly troubled. This kid's barely in his mid-20s, and his body's already wrecked from carrying too much alone. Undeterred, Jun-ho keeps pushing past exhaustion as the Lightning Lord hurls a crackling bolt into the night sky to test him. Buried in snow, Jun-ho grinds through push-ups, counting under his breath 460, 462, 472. Frost gripes about the noise and the boredom, but really, it's Jun-ho who looks ready to break. Frost admits the watchboards have locked her out, access expired, and only she can restore it. That night alone, she pulls up the authentication screen herself. It demands a live photo, face forward, mask off first. She hesitates, then does something she's never let him see. Takes the mask off, revealing wide blue eyes and pale hair underneath. Wrong approach, the system snaps back. Frost tries again, birth date, birthplace, a demand to prove she isn't a robot, muttering that even her own contractor never suspects a thing. Another error flashes. Then another. Her composure finally cracks and she just screams into the empty night. Identity confirmed at last. Frost can hardly believe she's holding real authority over the boards now. She surges down to see what has everyone talking. 12 days since the third floor opened, the world still celebrating the victory that made it possible, and one reporter cutting through the noise to ask simply where Specter's gone. The celebration hasn't slowed anyone down. The Hallam Guild is already plotting its own push into the third floor, and players past level 100 are moving before the applause even fades. Donations for the recovering fighters keep climbing. Frost reads it all in silence, the cheering doing nothing to explain what he's actually paying for it. Only she knows the real cost. The crowd's noise fades into memory, her own soldiers retreating under her old command, chanting praise for a queen who never let them see her falter. Duty, she reminds herself, never once cared how tired you were. This is what being bound to someone means. Back in the present, Frost decides to fix her camera angle before going further. Appearances matter after all. The screen glitches, errors, glitches again, and her nerve goes with it. Somewhere between panicking and scrolling her own chat, she blurts the real reason she's doing any of this: to earn his respect. The stream is live for real now, and without her mask her hair won't stop tickling her nose. She sneezes right on camera. Hearts flood the chat begging her not to cut it. She's still laughing it off when something on her own screen stops her cold, and all she can manage is cute. In the memory, palace elders fawn over a young Frost, calling her impossibly cute in front of the emperor himself. She whips around, glaring, insisting she's magnificent and imposing, not cute. The old men backpedal fast. Alone with her thoughts afterward, though, a small smile creeps in. She really was cute, and she knew it. Back in the present, that exact reflex fires on camera. Someone on the stream calls her cute, and Frost snaps into the same royal indignation. Away with you. How insolent, before panic hits, and she slams the stream shut. Only then does it register. She broadcast that whole meltdown under Jun-ho's account, not her own. Meanwhile, Jun-ho works through recovery alone, flexing stiff fists and timing his own heartbeat back to normal, relieved his body is finally responding again. Then Frost crashes through the door soaking wet, wailing his name. Startled, he asks what's wrong. All she can choke out is that she's made a mistake, a bad one. The mistake: she live-streamed herself, mask and all, using his identity to do it. Jun-ho sighs and heads off to check the damage, leaving her with a muffin to calm down. When he asks if she's even still wearing her mask, she admits she lost it on the way over. Then he can't help himself, calls her cute, and gets the exact same outraged "how insolent" right back. Checking the account afterward, Jun-ho finds strangers flooding it with donations, 500,000 won, and climbing, none of them realizing the Frost sculptor on screen is tied to him at all. They just assume Frost is his manager and dote on her anyway. It stings a little being unrecognized, but mostly it just feels good, knowing people out there genuinely care. The Lightning Lord drops by to check on him, pleased to see color back in his face, and warns him not to push it. One more healing session and he'll be moving freely by tomorrow. Jun-ho asks to learn his signature skill. The Lightning Lord agrees, but nothing's free. In exchange, he wants one favor: destroy evil. Jun-ho blinks, that's it. He's not joking. The Lightning Lord strips Jun-ho down to work directly on his veins, calling it less a technique than an awakening, cracking open his magic circuit to carry far more power than before. Jun-ho's healed enough now, Kai flowing freely through pathways he's never consciously used. Opening them wider while he's still unstable, the Lightning Lord warns, is going to hurt. That night the two face off alone. The Lightning Lord compares Jun-ho's magic circuit to a dirt road about to become a multi-lane highway, and lays down one rule: no matter what, don't scream or the surging energy spills and hurts them both. Jun-ho steadies himself and says he's ready. Lightning crackles, then floods straight into him, and his body convulses under the strain. Jun-ho grits his teeth as the pain rips through him, but the Lightning Lord isn't finished. "That wasn't too bad," he says, right before unleashing a second, far bigger surge, lightning crashing down like a hammer, splitting the sky and slamming straight into Jun-ho's exposed circuit. Through the blinding surge, his thoughts snap to everyone counting on him, Frost, the strangers cheering him on, and he grits out, "This much is nothing," refusing to buckle as the current keeps hammering into his opened circuit. The storm finally breaks. Steam rises off Jun-ho's scorched hand as he catches his breath, unsure if it's safe to let the borrowed power out yet. Frost rushes to check on him. He says he's fine, insisting he can feel it, like new pathways cracked open inside him. The Lightning Lord warns him not to neglect his original channels. They're still healing. The Lightning Lord admits most disciples would have passed out from that. Instead, Jun-ho looks thrilled, like a kid with a new toy, which unsettles even Frost. When Jun-ho offers to help around camp, the Lightning Lord assigns him the actual work. "Fetch firewood, wash up, and be ready. Real training starts tomorrow." Frost bristles at how he's ordered around, but Jun-ho shrugs it off. With his chores done, the real lesson begins. The Lightning Lord admits he has little to actually teach a non-lightning user besides raw strengthening, grumbling that training him at all is basically a steal without the streaming spirit's help. Still, if Jun-ho wants real lessons, he'll have to earn them. His task: reach the Lightning Lord however he can, run, crawl, anything. Frost watches, baffled. Even Jun-ho admits he has no idea what the old man's really testing. Told there's no warning, no fair signal, he decides the only option is speed. Overclocking to 50%, he detonates off the ground in a streak of lightning, closing the distance in a single desperate burst. For a heartbeat it looks like it might actually work, until the Lightning Lord casually points out nothing outraces lightning itself and swats him down cold. Jun-ho jolts awake afterward, dazed, convinced it was all some strange dream. Frost, hovering over him, sets him straight. He passed out from exhaustion, and she's starting to wonder if this old man even intends to teach him at all. The Lightning Lord lays out the real lesson. A shield would never survive that lightning, and pure speed can't outrun it either. The only answer is learning to redirect the bolt itself. No disciple has ever closed the distance on him before, he admits, almost daring Jun-ho to be the first. Undeterred, Jun-ho cranks the overclock to 80% and charges again. Jun-ho throws himself sideways as a bolt scorches the ground he just stood on, instinct alone saving him, his blood still reeling from the acceleration surge. The Lightning Lord watches, unmoved, 12 meters. "Have you even given this any thought? You can't compete on speed." Stung, Jun-ho cranks his overclock past 80% and charges again. The gap closes to just meters as Jun-ho's overclock screams past 81, 99, 99.9% faster than he's ever pushed. Even the Lightning Lord blinks, genuinely startled. This brat. He's already fast. And he's saying he can go faster. For the first time, doubt cracks that calm face. Meanwhile, far from the lightning-scorched training ground, a woman named Kaze, a broker who deals in luck and rare opportunity, toasts a stranger in a top hat over a glowing lottery ticket. "This ticket feels like a jackpot," she murmurs, though she's careful not to jinx her own retirement luck. Something, or someone, has just confirmed a new possibility. Back at the mountain, Jun-ho abandons any thought of blocking the bolt. This isn't a shield, he realizes. I need to become fast enough. He explodes forward, and for one dizzying instant he actually outruns the lightning, crashing past his old mark. The Lightning Lord studies him with something new in his eyes. That's a good look. 80 meters, a new record. Jun-ho jolts awake, briefly sure he'd broken through, then the ache sets in. Frost, his ice spirit companion, gives the verdict. Bad news first, his speed never changed. But the good news floors him, his instinct and her magic froze the bolt itself, a feat that reaches the rare tier of authority. Didn't you wish to become untouchable by lightning? My Frost answered that wish. That evening a visitor arrives. Baek Jin-woo, a hunter Jun-ho once pulled alive from a kobold subjugation gone wrong. Jin-woo is stunned to learn his rescuer is the Lightning Lord's own disciple. If it hadn't been for you, I'd have died that day, he admits, half joking that his own near death was probably training too. He's brought a message. The Lightning Lord has been quietly praising Jun-ho's progress. Baek Jin-woo waves off his own visit as nothing special, then admits the truth. Under the Lightning Lord, most disciples grind 10 days to a full month just to climb one level. Jun-ho brushes off his own pace, but Frost can't resist twisting the knife, words out, and the other disciples are stewing over it. Walking it off, Frost admits this isn't ordinary ice magic. It's a true authority, the same rare tier as the Lightning Lord's own power, and Jun-ho brushed against it by pure instinct. Master 2 elements like that and he could wield 2 authorities at once, spread too thin though, and they'll turn into chains instead of weapons. No time to waste deciding. He lunges back into the storm, chasing that same freeze. Lightning rips down again, and Jun-ho drops into it head first, chasing the exact instant that let him freeze a bolt once before. Frost recognizes it building. Yeah, it was this feeling right before the whole sky detonates in white, ice and lightning locking every drop of motion around him in place. In the blinding stillness, Jun-ho claims the moment as his alone freedom through time, meant only for him. He gives the power its name on the spot, the authority of stasis, forged from the same instinct that once froze the Lightning Lord's strike. Later, Frost lays out the price of the authority of stasis. He has to absorb the raw essence behind it, mana that would have devoured him before he was ready. The system pings his stats. Level 18, strength and speed climbing hard, fame past 40,000. Jun-ho couldn't stomach this dose last time. Now, with stasis behind him, he's ready to force it down. Ice swallows him whole as the trial takes hold, and for once Frost isn't sure it's working. This is taking far longer than the read on his instinct predicted. Did they miscalculate? Then the ice cracks open from the inside, and whatever just happened isn't in Frost's notes at all. Jun-ho breaks out of the ice with new crystalline scars lacing his skin, and the system confirms a new title, Instinct, Rank S. Frost checks he's all right, he just says he won. The Lightning Lord greets it with rare praise, a genius blessed by the heavens for clearing the mid-tier so fast. Jun-ho answers steady, ready for the next test, win, or another month of training. The Lightning Lord grins and tells Jin-woo to watch closely. This confidence, he says, is what happens when talent meets real effort. Then he snaps a bolt straight at Jun-ho. Jun-ho doesn't flinch. He reads the strike and steps clean out of its path. Even the Lightning Lord blinks. He saw it coming and dodged. Jun-ho's vision sharpens. Every bolt suddenly crawls like slow motion. He's just switched on overclock, an acceleration technique he's never pushed this hard before, and holding it costs him everything he's got. Layered underneath, Frost's essence at full strength, an ice that locks solid onto anything it touches. Jun-ho decides he'll clear this trial the hard way on foot, straight through the barrage. He strides through crackling bolts like they're rain, untouched. The Lightning Lord can't help but grin. What a lad. He cranks the storm's intensity higher, promising to go all out and daring Jun-ho to keep up. Jun-ho blows past the old record and shatters his own freezing mark in the process. The Lightning Lord, just as fired up, sizes up what Jun-ho's really holding, an authority that slows down anything it targets. Impressed, he decides they're not stopping here. Bonus training, full throttle, push past every limit. Watching from below, hunters mutter that master and student have both lost their minds. Alone on the summit, Jun-ho realizes he's caught up to a point most players never touch. If his master can still shine this bright, his own path isn't wrong and he can get stronger too. The Lightning Lord raises a fist, grinning. Can Jun-ho's punch even reach him? The old master goes all in, fire and lightning fusing into something monstrous, and it connects. Jun-ho staggers, stunned by the force. Onlookers gasp. This is the true descent of the lightning dragon, the strongest technique of the 9 heavens. The Lightning Lord isn't finished either. Boy, he warns, try blocking this. Jun-ho grits through the strike, unsure for a moment if his guard will hold, then breathes out, relieved. He's still standing. Onlookers reel, sure he's been knocked flat as the blast rolls out in light and dust. Then, far from that mountain, the scene cuts hard to something crimson and stirring. The day, a voice intones, has finally come. Meanwhile, in a chamber soaked red, a subordinate named Otrick nearly draws steel over an old grudge, until a voice cuts them off. They are coming. Blood-colored energy floods the room, and after 6 years sealed away, a horned, white-haired titan rises. His people bow. The heavenly demon, the tower's most feared warlord, has finished his closed-door training. The heavenly demon studies his kneeling subordinates, needling them. Did they only stay loyal out of fear? They swear otherwise, respect binding them tighter than dread ever could. Unconvinced, he turns to his aide, Jun-ho, for news, and learns the second floor's guardian has already fallen, brought down by a guild expedition force with help from someone calling himself Specter. The dossier fills in the blanks. Specter is really Seo Jun-ho, the frozen player who broke free from the ice and has been carving his way through the tower with allies at his side, expanding onto the 3rd floor in barely 2 years. Someone asks about a companion named Frost. The report warns there's more here worth reading closely, and to bring it back to base. In the crimson dark, a voice mutters, "We're going down," and the scene cuts away. Meanwhile, back on the mountainside, the Lightning Lord has Jun-ho on his knees digging up herb roots, ribbing him for collapsing during his own bonus training. Jun-ho argues a training bonus shouldn't count against him. The Lightning Lord just barks at him to keep digging. Baek Jin-woo, the hunter Jun-ho once saved, watches and laughs at the scolding. Jun-ho begs Frost for help digging while the Lightning Lord's attention wanders, but Frost just yawns, calling him a weakling contractor with energy to spare. Jun-ho's legs are giving out. Frost admits she's got her own troubles too, but keeps her distance anyway. Exhausted and sore, Jun-ho looks out over the mountains and decides he regrets nothing about the path he's chosen. Somewhere close by, someone just laughs. A new day brings a new trial. Jun-ho straps on a pack stuffed with dead weight, easily 50 kilograms of it, groaning under the load. He calls the group ready to move. Then a flash of light rips through the camp. When Jun-ho freezes at the blast, the Lightning Lord snaps him back. No techniques allowed here, just his own 2 legs and raw stamina. Training punishment continues. Jun-ho grinds through root digging, then drills escape holds with fellow trainee Cho Gang-hui, barking corrections until it clicks. As the mountain breaks for the weekend, word flashes through on a screen. Specter, Jun-ho, and an ally are being sent out to a live scene. Something's already wrong down in the world below. Meanwhile in Busan, A boy named Doyen haggles with his dad over cream puffs on an ordinary snowy street corner. Then his phone lights up with a 99.9% missing persons alert out of Hyundai. Panic rips through the crowd around him. A home is already burning, its owner screaming to get back inside while rescuers hold her at the fire line. Rescuers push into the wreckage and find nothing but ash, no bodies, just a scorched tablet buried in the rubble, its screen still holding a family's last happy photo. Then the grief turns to horror. Thunder cracks, and something is closing in on the survivors still picking through the ruins. The Lightning Lord is already on the ground, tearing through the fiends responsible, lightning crashing through the burned-out streets. A demon commander sneers that hunting them down changes nothing. Fiends will exist as long as humans do. The Lightning Lord's answer is another bolt. He refuses to accept that fatalism. Alone in the drenched wreckage, the Lightning Lord speaks the creed that drives him. Even if the world ends tomorrow, even if he dies, he'll keep planting saplings anyway. That alone is meaning enough. Back in the present, Jun-ho and Frost catch their breath after a near miss, the old man's words still hanging in the air. By the fire, Jinwoo explains his real gift, not raw strength, but predator. Stealing one target's ability to wield as his own, though it took 5 years just to unlock it. He's being groomed to inherit the Lightning Lord's own lightning someday. Jun-ho realizes master and student share the same stubborn refusal to quit. That's only natural, he grins for a player. Back at camp, Jun-ho needles the Lightning Lord about what kind of master never actually teaches anything. The old man just shrugs him off. 2 months of grinding later, the other players have already climbed to the 3rd floor, but tomorrow it's finally Jun-ho's turn to descend. Over food and jabs at Jinwoo's infamous root dish, the mood stays light before the real test begins. The memory rewinds. A younger, battered Jun-ho once stood outside this same door, begging to be taken in. The Lightning Lord waved him off. No dojo, no students anymore, but Jun-ho pressed harder, insisting he needed power to avenge the family the fiends had already taken from him. That's no reason, the Lightning Lord snaps. Plenty of people share it. Jun-ho breaks down, sobbing that he's furious he can't even properly rage at the man mocking his grief. The old man's voice softens. Your family should be angry at me, not you. They're watching you from wherever they are now. Jun-ho won't let it drop. If he can't be angry yet, he'll get strong enough to earn the right to. He offers to cook, clean, anything, until the Lightning Lord finally cracks and calls him disciple, then immediately walks it back to just patient. The bond, half joke and half promise, is sealed. Back in the present, the Lightning Lord waves off the whole disciple debate. Jun-ho's earned his shot, and tomorrow can't come soon enough. In a sunlit forest camp, a trainee marvels that Gilberto, a hunter instructor who normally fights with guns, still out-wrestles body-strengthening users barehanded, and hopes the extra drilling pays off. As the trainees grumble that their mentor is stalling their climb on purpose, a masked drill instructor storms out and barks the whole camp to attention, until someone spots the newcomer and blurts out his hunter name, Specter. The instructor squares up, daring anyone to step out of line. The instructor squares off with one trainee, then eases up. Everyone's doing fine, he admits, before heading off to find Gilberto. Jun-ho trades words with a familiar face about staying sharp. Even as a player, you train constantly or you stagnate. Business settled, they wait out the break for Gilberto to return. High in the trees, Gilberto spots Jun-ho catching a breather and pounces. No warning, no mercy, just a crack of impact and a yelp as the lesson lands. Never relax here. Session over, he peels off his mask, all grins now, ribbing Jun-ho for soloing the second floor's boss, and for that new hairstyle he's clearly proud of. Meanwhile, deep in the tower's testing hall, hopefuls grumble about the association's advancement exams. Fail too many and you're demoted, stripped of your floor privileges. Talk turns to a mysterious woman who tore through the 7-star test at a shocking pace. Rumor says she, too, used to be a frozen player, just like Specter. One of the students, a young mage named Alin, freezes when a message flickers onto her screen. "I'm back." Her teacher, Instructor Killiland, arrives at her door, clearly shaken, having heard she'd been hospitalized after a brutal hit from someone called Drak. Alin waves it off, "No big deal," she says, calling it hunky-dory, leaving Killiland thoroughly baffled. Back home, Jun-ho eats while housemate Seo grills him. Did he really rush off to train the moment the third floor opened? Not quite, he nearly died, but walked away with a new frost-related authority from the Lightning Lord. Seo lights up with envy, noticing he seems lighter, more at peace. With other players already tearing into the third floor, the two decide it's time to move too. Jun-ho's group is escorted to a chilling sight. The association keeps a floor master on ice, studying its freakish regeneration for research, a fence and healing gear, they hope, built off its biology. Someone even wonders if this thing regenerates faster than the fearsome Raminard. Jun-ho turns to his ally Skaya. Can she extract what they need? Just the head, she confirms. The brain's already knitting itself back together, still twitching on the slab, proof of just how tenacious this thing is, though nowhere near as fast as when it fought Jun-ho. Skaya isn't about to let it crawl back to life, vowing to finish the job herself. As they secure the brain, the record flips back to a confession from the dead, 312 years in the past. 312 years ago, a monstrous bee detonates in a burst of red fury. The hunters fighting it hesitate. It's a protected, endangered species, so why were they ordered to wipe it out? Rather than kill it outright, they seal it away behind a gate and lock the door. Nearby, a young boy gawks up at the tower, stunned by the sheer size of the thing bearing down on him. The ancient bee never stayed dead. Century after century it devoured its own kind, twisting further with each rebirth, and Skaya realizes she's staring at the same monster Jun-ho's team just dragged from the depths. Rewinding its memories, she finds a buried lab. Scientists tried restoring an endangered species, botched it, and threw the resulting mutant away. Shadowy figures watch in silence. "Who are these guys?" someone asks. Meanwhile, deep in his throne room, the Demon King gets grim news. Hunters have exposed the master of his third floor, barely days after it opened. His spies confirm the story goes public within 24 hours, and he isn't surprised. He expected exactly this. Almost bored, he turns philosophical, asking whether humanity's true nature is adaptability or purity. The answer that comes back unsettles even him. Flashback. His army, frozen 6 years, finally marches on Galleon, amused their enemies are still twitching in the pit. Cut to the present. The Hunter Association scrambles as fiends worldwide slip surveillance entirely, moving in perfect, unnerving unison. Worse, a massive undead horde is spotted at the frontier. Suspicion falls on Hazed Hallow, the king of corpses, and whispers that his master, Torok, has been revived. The association president lays it out. The Demon King's 6 years are already up, and with hunters stretched thin, he decides to wake 2 frozen allies now. Freya can only thaw one at a time, 90 days between each. Gilberto and Cial stage a playful reenactment to soften the shock, and moments later the ice cracks open. One of them immediately complains about the mess. At headquarters, two hunters bicker over whether the place is a home or a dungeon before the mood turns serious. The brass debate who to wake first. Even the Lightning Lord and the Guild Lord can't shoulder the world's defense alone with a new zone opening. They need an unshakable pillar, and their eyes land on the ice. Frost calls out the wake-up. Ragmadat, it's time to rise. Because undoing a seal skips the usual 90-day cooldown, Frost pushes it through clean. Cracks race across the ice statue. Then it shatters, a roar tears loose as the frozen giant rips free, bellowing that no ice was ever going to hold him. But the fight in his head isn't over. Disoriented, Ragmadat mistakes the silence for a battlefield gone quiet, hallucinating the comrades from his last stand, celebrating a monstrous queen's defeat, telling him it's time to go. In the memory they walk out and seal the dungeon behind them, leaving him alone as the ice closes over his scream. Elsewhere at a quiet frontier watch post, a veteran ribs a stiff, shivering rookie about the cold. 300 days without a single monster or bandit sighting has the kid doubting why he ever became a hunter at all. Bored and restless, one soldier wanders off for a smoke and doesn't come back. A scream and a spray of blood tear through the calm. Citron, a wounded hunter, staggers out as thorned vines whip through the dark. It's an ambush. Fiends have breached the main gate and the exits are sealing shut. The city's lord refuses to run, sending his family to the underground shelter while he stays with his soldiers. Soldiers rally around their lord, refusing to abandon the men dying to protect their families. Mage teams scramble into formation, one raising a barrier, another readying freezing magic, as the fiends press the walls. Amid the smoke, a commanding figure descends over the carnage, coolly surveying the wreckage and asking what to do with the prisoners. The order comes back cold: keep them alive. The smoke clears on a gutted, corpse-strewn city, Galleon, humanity's city of beginnings, torn apart by a brutal siege. Standing over the ruin is the Demon King himself, unmasked and unhiding. The same evil who unleashed the fiends on the world 6 years ago, now facing the man who once branded him a monster. The Demon King tears into him. This so-called legend didn't win. He fled Galleon covered in blood, and it cost him every shred of skill and pride he had. Then he sets the record straight. He never thought this city weak, never declared a siege, and whatever the world believes, his real strength was never arrogance. In Ragmadat's memory, a city burns and its lord marches straight into the flames rather than retreat, while an officer scrambles to secure the dimensional elevator behind him. Ragmadat shrugs off a direct missile hit, already regenerating in front of a shocked medic, Isol. Fine, he grins. Good as new. He laughs off the hit and dares another one just to prove it barely phases him. Isol begs him to stop. Tomorrow he ships for the South Pole to face the Frost Queen, a foe leagues above him, but all he manages is a shy invite. Help him pick a suit when he gets back. Dinner's on him. Come back in one piece, she tells him. Back in the present, years later, Ragmadat asks after her, and Freya, the frost hunter who thawed him, warns he's not walking into the life he left. Isol is a mother now, with a daughter in college. He checks his collar, asks if he looks sharp. Good enough, Freya says. He just wants to say hello and go. At the clinic, Isol is exactly the busy, warm doctor she became, scolding a coughing kid to bundle up, unaware her old partner is watching from the waiting room. Her old words echo in his head. Come back in one piece. She built a good life, he says quietly. Freya asks if he'll really skip saying hello. He was going to, but something tells him he shouldn't. Is this what they mean by time flying by? Ragmadat wonders. Those days still feel like yesterday. yet somehow they are already distant memory. The thought barely lands before a blast rips through the present, and he's moving before anyone can shout his name. Some people, he mutters with a grin, don't change no matter how much time passes. He punches clean through the incoming blast, shouting for backup to follow. Across the line, invaders make their demand plain. They're only the vanguard, but they mean to level this place for the honor of the wall of jealousy. The order goes out fast. Fiends confirmed, all hands to combat, elite agents scrambling into position as a citywide alert tells every non-combatant to run. Shields lock as a fiend howls that it's been waiting for this exact fight. The defenders dig in, don't let anyone through, hold this line, while an officer dangles a promotion to whoever breaks first through the enemy ranks, and the agents roar back with everything they've got. Behind them, the order crackles out. Seal the dimension elevator and call for backup. This is the final line of defense, someone shouts, and the battlefield answers in fire and steel, swords flashing. A child's scream lost in the smoke. Even as the defenders hold, someone higher up grumbles that this fight is dragging on and their boss won't be happy about the losses. Then blades meet in a shower of sparks, and one almost admiring word cuts through the chaos. Nice blade. The wall of jealousy is falling apart, the captain's down, agents are running low, panic is climbing. Then Ragmadat steps past all of them. I'll do it myself, he says, and every defender behind him has the same horrified thought. A man who isn't even cleared for combat is about to throw himself at a fiend twice his size. The fiend they're calling Great Worm grins over the wreckage. Anyone can die in war, it sneers, unbothered by the bodies around it. Ragmadat throws the line right back before the fight turns bloody, cracks a joke about his weapon barely surviving a day of use, and then the whole crowd goes stiff, staring at Great Worm like they just watched something impossible happen. Because Ragmadat should be dead, that hit dropped him cold, and now he's climbing back up like nothing happened. Only trolls have that ability. Someone stammers, instant regeneration in a human. Ragmadat just looks annoyed. You're all just annoying, so come at me at once. He growls and unleashes it Muthai Bukem, a skill fresh out of the tower, detonating the fiends in one motion. The system barely finishes logging the number, 700,000 damage, before the fiends are down for good. Ragmadat turns to his shaken fellow agent, Huni. Did I scare you? He asks, almost sheepish, admitting the move was something he'd only just picked up in the tower. Around them, the order comes down. Group 3 falls back to regroup at the hall. Elsewhere, a hunter named Insanio crackles with borrowed lightning, grinning at her own power spike. Command scrambles the operation and security units to clear hostages, warning that anyone who tries something faces instant judgment. A hulking fiend jeers at the raiders as underpowered balloon heads, until an old soldier in the crowd freezes, staring at Ragmadat like he's seen a ghost. The old soldier's mind drifts decades back, to a man in his unit who awakened a power just like this one and never came home the same. A woman beside him, Sakya, breathes the name before she can stop herself. Ragmadat Kali. In the present, Ragmadat walks toward his old unit, and Freyr reads him instantly. He wants to smile and say hello, and something's stopping him. You'll find a way to get used to it, Freya tells him gently. Outliving everyone you loved is the price of what they are now. Ragmadat steadies himself, walks up anyway, and greets two old friends from his unit, Joya and Rookie, with a smile he almost didn't give them. I'm sorry, all of you, he says. I took too long. Meanwhile, across the tower, a live report tracks a war for the third floor's master, the guild's silent moon clashing with the king's own hunting knights for the rout. after a rival guild called Specter swept every reward off the floor below. Bigger guilds circle the boss from a distance, and the smaller ones start watching too, waiting for their moment to strike. A mysterious hunter called Specter is being credited with a floor boss kill the whole city's buzzing about. Officially, it was teamwork. Unofficially, sources say his two allies collapsed mid-fight and Specter carried it alone. Meanwhile, someone else is hunting for exactly where he's vanished to and asking pointed questions about the ally fighting beside him, the one they call the proxy. Tally it up. Specter wiped out a kobold invasion force, picked off veteran fiends one by one, joined the Pokebai Guild for a raid, and cut down pride from the Order of Arrogance. Sakia and a hunter named Gilberto, both awakened by his power, orbit close to his mysterious partner, the proxy, who looks less like backup and more like an heir. A horned stranger snaps, "Bring me their photos." Now, the stranger studies the photo, a face he's never met but already respects. Word is the chaos on that floor is being kept quiet, but the truth is expected to leak within a day. His claws twitch. He tastes the idea of real martial power out there, and something in him hungers to test it before the story even breaks. "What do you think, Specter?" The stranger murmurs over a field gone silent with bodies. Then the world lurches somewhere else entirely. A fiend tears loose near a crowded arena, fathers dragged back into the smoke as families scramble. Roads lock down, drones scramble overhead, and the military throws everything it has at containing him. Command finally puts a name to the horned stranger. The Fiend King, a fiend leader walking back into the world right on schedule after 6 years of silence. No one dares move rashly. He didn't come alone, either. Reports of fiend attacks start flooding in from other cities, and the call goes out for reinforcements, confirmed and inbound. One of the strikes is aimed straight at the dimensional elevator, and Ragmadat and Sakia are already standing in the blast radius. While commanders hesitate over whether the enemy really is the Fiend King himself, Seo Jun-ho, a hunter hero on call, doesn't wait for permission. He heads out alone, brushing off backup. Heroes show up wherever they're needed, and he's already decided. On the ground, soldiers wade through a field piled with corpses, unable to tell friend from casualty, unable to confirm it's even safe to send rescue in. 10 tense minutes crawl by before a spotter finally calls it. Enemy sighted, no weapons visible, closing in on the stadium. The order snaps out instantly. Everyone, open fire. A wall of gunfire and rockets tears into him, everyone screaming not to let him slip away, and it barely slows him down. Out of the smoke rises the Fiend King himself, unbothered, almost amused. "I won't stop you from watching," he says, "but this isn't a stage you get to interfere with." The soldiers just stare, weapons still smoking, already beaten. The gunfire hits him and does nothing. The Fiend King straightens out of the smoke, blood down that horned skull, and doesn't even raise his voice. "Stay out of it." Then he answers with something worse. A detonation that rips the ground open and sends soldiers and rubble cartwheeling through the air. Command throws everything at him, drones circling. A missile strike order barked over the radio, then a scramble to retreat. Some helicopter crews won't listen, chasing the kill even as officers scream for them to pull out. The Fiend King burns them from the sky without flinching, one line trailing the flames. "Let the country's own leaders watch. This is how the world really works." Out of the wreckage, shapes with too many claws start climbing free, fiends answering the call. A trio of soldiers freezes at the sight. Then a white-haired figure walks straight into the firelight. Specter, the hunter the world just crowned a solo hero. The Fiend King greets him like an old joke, hope of humanity, and Specter's answer is flat. Don't move. Specter's mind is somewhere else entirely, quietly savoring just being out in the world again, seeing it with his own eyes for once. Then the Fiend King's voice cuts through it, calling him the hero with real venom, and asks for one thing before anything else. Are you actually satisfied with this life, paraded around and worshipped while it eats you alive? The pitch is precise. People don't love their hero, the Fiend King says. They cling to whoever stands between them and their fear, and drop him the moment someone else can do the job. That's why I pity you, Specter. You don't owe them anything. Come with me, I'll show you what you're actually capable of. Specter answers with a burst of raw power. The offer gets an answer in steel. Specter closes the gap in a blink, blade lit blue, crashing straight into the monstrous fiend the Fiend King sent forward, claws, glowing eyes, a roar that shakes the wreckage. Metal meets muscle, sparks and blood fly, and neither side gives an inch. You're just a criminal, the Fiend King sneers. Specter doesn't flinch. My life's always been on the line. I'm not letting you kill this era. The system answers, skill unlocked, moon eye, and he unleashes it, a wave of ice and light tearing through the fiend. In the quiet after, the Fiend King exhales. Guess that's it for my offer. The Fiend King doesn't back down. He throws his name out like a challenge. I am Erathium, the god of fiends, the first sin, and this era's true savior. The words barely finish before the whole block erupts, a wall of red light swallowing the ruins whole. Meanwhile, deep inside a guarded vault, alarms cascade, barrier after barrier reported destroyed until every last one falls. A masked crew moves in on the order of a hooded leader. Take them all out. This is a historic moment. Our Order of Envy gets the credit this time. A hand yanks the final lock open. Looks like the place is ready for guests. Meanwhile, Seo Jun-ho remembers a quieter promise first. I'll protect the place where I belong, just like always, so make sure you win. No, comes the reply, make sure you make it out alive. Then the alarm screams evacuate. An explosion rips through the street, and he's sprinting straight into the wreckage, an ally at his side. At the shattered elevator, defenders close ranks around their leader. It's the association leader, he's mine. One attacker shouts, but a bodyguard steps between them. Anyone who tries to kill Mother must be prepared to die. If you want my neck, try and take it. Lasers rip through the enemy line, bones shatter, screams tear out, and the attackers realize too late they're being slaughtered. Elsewhere, Isaac Pvyr, the association leader, test fires a brutal new weapon, wincing at the recoil. A stranger in a purple suit and top hat steps from the shadows. That's a terrifying weapon. You're Isaac Pvyr, aren't you? One touch drops him cold. I'm revising the plan, wanna play hostage instead. Then a gunman, Gabriel, arrives, weapon raised, forcing the standoff toward surrender. But the magician isn't finished. Hold on, how about a magic trick first? A storm of cards rips loose, cutting Gabriel down before he can fire. Run, Diaku, he shouts through the pain. Undeterred, a new challenger steps in, Mr. Green. Think of a card, the magician grins. Got one. Then I'll read your mind and stick it straight through your heart. Mr. Green's strike grazes the magician point blank, close enough to draw blood. A hair's breadth, the villain breathes, almost delighted. Green growls, did he nearly die just now? The magician just grins and throws the question back at him. Right before something off to the side freezes that grin solid. Meanwhile, across the city, a masked sniper named Rio lines up a shot on the tower below. Before he can fire, a red-eyed stranger, Vale, steps out of the dark to call his prep bravo, better than she expected. Her last words land colder than the shot ever could. If you want to kill someone, be ready to die yourself. The rooftop goes up in flame. Back at the shattered elevator, Seo Jun-ho finally reaches the fight he's been sprinting toward this whole time. He plants himself in front of the Fiend King's looming shadow, ice sparking off him, and roars for Erathium to come at him. No more running, no more waiting. Erathium answers by cutting loose completely, calling himself the disaster no one can stop and vowing to wipe out every player himself. Jun-ho grits through the barrage, bleeding, until Erathium sneers that he's just a lucky nobody who lost his ideals. That's when Jun-ho fires back, a burst of ice and lightning tearing a scream out of the Fiend King. Jun-ho doesn't let up. He surges forward, laughing through the chaos, ice and lightning detonating around him wave after wave. The cornered fighter who staggered in minutes ago now unrecognizable. Nothing left but fury and frostbitten light. Nearby, Specter, one of the hunters still picking through the wreckage, freezes at the sight, breath catching in his throat. "Handsome," he mutters, half in awe and half in dread, watching the storm Jun-ho's become light up the ruins. Erathium's grin only widens. "You're entertaining me far better than I expected," he says, eyes flashing, right before Jun-ho throws everything he has left, Moon Eye slamming into Extreme in one blinding collision. When the light clears, both of them are on their knees, gasping, spent. Erathium looms over Seo Jun-ho, both fighters gasping from the exchange, and sneers that this world isn't worth the fight, that even Jun-ho's last, desperate stand can't hold back the new order coming. Jun-ho just smiles. His own era ended 26 years ago. He's only ever refused to live a coward's life. Erathium's grin thins. "Fine then," he says, "you've just wasted your time." Meanwhile, where Mr. Green faces down the magician, a blur of silver hair and steel crashes between them, a blade named the H-Warring Treasure Sword ripping through the air. It's Wu Jung, a legendary swordsman known across the hunter world as the Sword Saint, and he plants himself in front of Green, warning the magician that not one soul is allowed to touch the man who helped win this era's freedom. Through the ruined battlefield, reinforcements finally arrive, and Wu Jung turns to the ally at his side, a fellow hunter named Beak. Can he hold this line solo? He'll call for backup if needed, but right now Beak has to reach Specter. They sealed this pact 6 years ago. When the fiend god himself finally returned, they'd stand together, no matter the cost. Wu Jung turns back to his real fight, the man who first came after Mr. Green, and the two trade blinding strikes. His blade splits heaven and hell, he warns, and steel meets steel until the enemy's sword shatters in his hand. The man just laughs through the blood, stunned. 2 stages stronger than before, this Wu Jung isn't the fighter he remembers. Wu Jung doesn't let up. "First formation," he roars, and the heartless blade comes down in one merciless arc. The enemy screams that he'll kill the fun if Wu Jung dies too soon. Right before that same strike detonates through him in a blinding wash of light, ending the duel in one devastating blow. Cut to Beak, racing to Specter's side and throwing himself into the fight spell after spell. Strato rips through the air. Clara Lux erupts in a wall of golden light meant to burn back the darkness. And finally, weapon hell binds and consumes whatever's still left standing in its grip. An elder mage seals the battlefield shut, refusing to let the fiend god slip free with any tricks. Then the real clash ignites. Shin Sung-hyun, a hunter wreathed in blue lightning, squares up against the fiend god's monstrous red visage. The fiend god vows tonight ends the long war. Sung-hyun answers cold. "Not tonight, and no mercy once your eyes close." Lightning and crimson annihilation crash together, and Sung-hyun swears they'll keep winning because their reason for fighting is nothing like the fiend gods. The blast levels the field. When the smoke clears, A cluster of hunters creeps up to a smoking crater. Word spreads fast. After all this bloodshed, the fiend god is finally, truly dead. No one dares get close first. Some want to burn the body or tear it apart right there, but the group's leader shuts that down hard. They can't repeat the mistake that already cost them once before. A trigger-happy mercenary itches to strike it anyway. A raised hand crackling with energy tells him to stand down. Someone kneels and checks. No pulse, no heartbeat, not even the screaming voice they all dreaded still echoing in its mind. Satisfied it's finally still, the group hands the last, grimmest task to Sung-hyun alone. Make absolutely certain the fiend god never rises again. Then the corpse detonates, one last trump card, unleashed without warning. It was never truly finished. The blast tears through the group as Sung-hyun's eyes go wide. Someone screams for everyone to protect what's left of that body before it slips away for good. The last surge crashes down and finally burns itself out. Smoke clears over cracked, silent ground. Panting and battered, Sung-hyun and his ally stand over the true end of the fiend god, a shard of its power clutched tight in hand. The long war finally, truly over. Across the smoking ruins, a hooded follower kneels over the fallen Erathium, sobbing his true name, Isaac, as the fight finally leaves his body. Nearby, two more of his agents, Nazad and Violence, report back. Mission complete. Whatever they were sent to grab in the chaos, they've got it. No losers tonight, just a quiet, unsettling win for the enemy. 2 days after his brutal stalemate with Erathium, Seo Jun-ho finally stirs awake in a guarded safe house. His battle-scarred ally Remade, a hunter who's clearly been keeping watch, grins with relief. Jun-ho's first groggy question cuts straight to the point. What happened to the fiend god? Ramade's answer lands like a gut punch. They killed it, and it still got away. Remade lays it out. The news is calling the kill confirmed, but people won't stop talking about the body itself. While Jun-ho was unconscious, the guild master and the rest crowded around the corpse and somehow lost it. Jun-ho, skull still throbbing, can barely wrap his head around losing a dead god. Throat bone dry, Jun-ho gets water from a winged, white-haired woman fussing over him. She calls him Contractor and teases him awake as Frost. This is the Frost Queen, and the two are clearly bound by more than gratitude now. She blames a sugar crash from too many sweets for oversleeping. He barely gets a joke in before she scoops him clean off his feet. Remade turns serious, asking the Frost Queen point-blank if the title's real. She confirms it. 20 years ago, she was the floor master who froze every hunter trapped there, Jun-ho included. Now she's supposedly changed, helping him instead. But Remade isn't satisfied. Gilberto, Saria, and Rio are still frozen solid. Cornered, the Frost Queen has no answer, just a quiet, guilty apology. Remade turns to rally the survivors, admitting plainly there's no excuse for the lives still unaccounted for, and the evacuation kicks into gear, sergeants barking for citizens to clear out as the alert level spikes. Watching it all, the Frost Queen raises her power once more, ice crystallizing around her, one question hanging in the air. Is everyone sure they won't regret this? Seo Jun-ho chews through an apple in silence, and Frost Queen crunches right along with him, old tension finally easing as Remade accepts her apology outright. He needles her anyway, grinning, thanking her for watching over his friend this whole time. A month slips by, and Jun-ho rolls out into the sun in a wheelchair, staff cheering at how far his recovery has already come. Ramade's just back from Moscow, having hunted down every fiend still fleeing the wreckage there. No rest, just cleanup, he shrugs, salmon in hand as a souvenir. Then he turns his teasing on Frost Queen. Word is she survived a brutal battle which turns out to be a dentist's chair, payback for sneaking sweets and skipping her toothbrush. Inside a villa a fan of heroes has lent them, Jun-ho admits his legs still won't hold him. The muscle's simply gone and full recovery could take a year. He asks after Erathium's trail. There's nothing, not even a name in the records. But Jun-ho's certain. The Fiend King isn't dead, and the guilds never confirmed the body before it vanished. Jun-ho's certainty comes from experience. He's the only one who fought Erathium directly. Remade lays out the chaos since. 10,000 casualties from the terror attack, fiends scattering loose from their handlers. No time to properly mourn a death nobody's even confirmed. Frost Queen backs him. Then the real news lands. The association wants Jun-ho to fill Erathium's empty throne. His answer: tell them he doesn't care about their backyard politics. Jun-ho orders a real search for the fiend god's corpse, then explains why it matters. Over 24 years, fiends kidnapped and killed nearly 6,000 children, and if players, guilds, and the association had ever actually cooperated, the fiends could never have risen again. Scaria digs into fresh association intel. Specter insists on hunting alone. Mr. Green wants eyes on the site himself. Remade joins too. Jun-ho just tells them to move and let him focus on healing. Then Vita chimes in. The butterfly core analysis is complete. The system flags the find. Janabi's core, a legendary relic pulled from the Alpha Atomic B, but absorbing it forces a 3-day deep sleep. Frost Queen tenses immediately, remembering how long Jun-ho was out cold once before and warns him not to touch it recklessly. He shrugs it off. Just 3 days, what's the harm? But when she pushes to tell the others first, he actually concedes the point. Honestly, Jun-ho admits, there's no reason to rush anymore. He's not the only hero left standing, and for once he lets himself want a little breathing room. The panel fills with every ally who's carried this fight alongside him, a reminder of how far things have come. Wheeled back to rest, he tells Frost Queen he's in her hands until Remade returns. She just sighs. He never listens, does he? Frost Queen presses him again. Does he still doubt it? And for once, Seo Jun-ho just says it straight. He lost. He went in certain he could put down the fiend god, took Moon Eyes shattering twice, and still fell short. She doesn't flinch. She's heard worse from herself. Then the countdown starts. 3 days, and Janabi's core goes dark in his hand. 3 days vanish in a blink. The system flashes bright. Core synchronization complete. A new skill locking in cell regeneration. Rank A. Jun-ho jolts upright asking what day it is, and there's Noya, the old craftsman who's armed him since day one, laughing with relief that his half a year to recover prognosis just got embarrassed. Jun-ho swears he's fully healed right before his legs buckle and he faceplants, days of bed rest catching up fast. Noya cackles at the sight while Remade, his battle-scarred crony just off Moscow cleanup, offers a hand. No stabbing pain, at least new ability confirmed, but Jun-ho's not pushing his luck. He'll take the cane. Noya wants to know if Jun-ho actually came to see him or just to gloat that his blade worked on the fiend god, and gets called a lunatic for the guess being half right. He calls for the go board instead. Remade begs off to patrol, leaving the old man and his favorite headache to it. The board fills fast, and Noya, cocky about his speed, loses anyway. First time in a while he's willing to admit it plainly. He reads straight through Jun-ho's silence. That fight with the fiend god really did take something out of him. Then he sets down the real reason he came. There's news to deliver. Noya says it plain. He's retiring. No more gear, no more repairs, not even for the ally he's armed for years. He's closing in on 100, and the monsters Jun-ho's fighting now have outgrown anything he can build for them. It's not a joke. He's been ready to say this for a long time. The only thing that held him back, Manwha says, was Jun-ho frozen in ice instead of forcing his hand sooner. Then he hands over a gift decades in the making, the very first sword Jun-ho ever shattered, kept all this time. The sword of ambition, he calls it, proof that broken things come back stronger, and so will Jun-ho. Manwha presses the very first sword Jun-ho ever broke into his hands one more time, the sword of ambition, and asks for just one promise: never lose that rookie fire. Jun-ho swears he'll never break this blade again. Then the mood snaps right back, and he needles the old man for talking like it's a funeral when he isn't even gone yet. Jun-ho throws himself into brutal retraining on a monster machine hauling 1,000 pounds, shocked at how much combat muscle he lost frozen in ice. Then he finally opens the messages piling up. Hunters Shin Sung-hyun, Kim Wol-chang, and Milfage all frantic. Some fans openly doubting he's really Seo Jun-ho, and Specter, his masked ally, still too critical to answer for himself. Frost Queen, the ice-wielding ally bound to Jun-ho, tells him to quit stalling and answer everyone already. He gets a better idea instead: go live. Fans flood in the moment his stream starts, and first things first, he thanks everyone for the donations, insisting every bit of it is going straight to people who need it more. On stream, Jun-ho reassures everyone he's healing faster than expected and begs them to keep supporting Specter. He razzes Remade, his battle-scarred ally, for suspiciously circling back after supposedly heading home, then cuts the feed just as a furious, freshly woken fiend god starts screaming for answers, while Frost Queen coolly promises to restring his organs if he doesn't quiet down. Chat's still buzzing over the mystery girl who appeared at the end of the stream. Across town, Pyaksu, Jun-ho's mission handler, congratulates him on the broadcast before getting to business, news, and a new assignment. Jun-ho picks the mission first, then can't resist ribbing him about the still unfinished defense walls, and exactly whose fault the biggest hole in them is. The job, Malran territory, is booming, but its people have stopped sleeping and are wasting away for it. And the timing lines up with fiends running wild since their king's death loosened his grip. Jun-ho volunteers despite still needing crutches, waving off Ramade's teasing, while a video arrives from the dwarves of Pell Ice, thrilled he's using their gear and pitching a frost-infused armor upgrade. Pyaksu tosses Jun-ho the choice: take the frost-powered armor upgrade, or chase the mystery in Malran territory. Jun-ho waves off Ramade's insistence that he's fine alone and grabs his crutches instead. World's strongest patient right now, he grins, hauling himself up. Mission it is. He and Ramade approach 9 Hirns, where the fiends and the Big Six lurk, joking about how far players have come from villain to visitor. Guards bar their entry outright until Jun-ho produces Viscount Hogan's own recommendation letter. The soldier gapes. Somewhere in the dark, something inhuman growls. They're waved through. An anxious attendant tries to stall them at the manor door, insisting the Viscount's too ill for visitors. Ramade isn't having it. He bears his still healing wound and dares the man to keep an injured hero waiting. Flustered, the attendant folds and finally lets them through. Inside, an elderly caretaker serves cookies as friendly cover for the audience with the Viscount. Jun-ho clocks the soldier's eyes, everyone bloodshot, hollowed out, clearly unable to sleep rather than unwilling. Before he can say more, Ramade's voice cuts in sharp. "Kid, wait." Jun-ho freezes mid-bite. This cookie tastes like gunpowder, and it detonates right in his grip. Through the smoke, A shadowed enforcer gloats that he already knew Seo Jun-ho was back, regeneration and all, and that it's already far too late for that to matter. Frost Queen blasts up a wall of ice, swallowing the explosion whole and leaving the room silent and frozen solid. Regrouping, Jun-ho and Remade realize the sickly Viscount isn't a fiend himself. He's being puppeted by one, a powerful mental type. They're debating whether to call in Skaya when something massive lurches into view. A hulking, screeching monster stalks out of the dark. Its creator, a grinning fiend who names himself Piglet, captain of the Slan Order, proudly introduces it as lovely Rosemary, bred from blood drained out of the sleepless townsfolk. He needles Jun-ho over gutting the Order of Arrogance before, then warns that fiend wasn't even an Order captain's equal. Piglet keeps ranting, drunk on his own hype. This dream-eating monster will feed on people's fears forever, and one day the whole cult will kneel before him. He nods toward lovely Rosemary, sizing up Remade like a sparring dummy. Then the beast lunges, its scream tearing the night as it locks onto him. A ghostly floating head hurls itself at Rosemary as a decoy, and Remade can't stop cringing at how creepy it is. Jun-ho shouts at Frost Queen to close the distance while the monster's distracted. She freezes its claw solid in one clean grab, and the group peels off, leaving Rosemary to Remade, legend or not. His regeneration won't wear the beast down for a century. Jun-ho closes the gap in a blink and lands a clean strike, and even Piglet has to admit it stings. Jun-ho doesn't let up, take out the captain, and the monster he built out of stolen dream energy falls apart with him. Piglet just smirks, needling him. Are you really about to rob these people of their happiness? Forced happiness isn't happiness. Jun-ho snaps back, and that's the opening Piglet wants. He triggers the Dream Soul Severance Circle, daring Jun-ho to go see for himself whether the fantasy is worth defending. Reality dissolves. Jun-ho's pulled under, and Frost Queen's voice cuts through the dark. He's been forcibly dragged somewhere again. Jun-ho comes to groggy, half expecting another shared prison like last time this happened against an Order captain. But no, this place is familiar. Frost Queen materializes beside him, startled as he takes in the room. His old bedroom from back when he was still a student. This is his old room, Jun-ho confirms from his student days. Frost Queen notices everything looks shrunk, like they've slipped into the past, but Jun-ho corrects her. This is the Dream Fiend's power, a memory replayed as a dream. They agree to poke around and find the exit until Jun-ho freezes, realizing exactly which memory they've landed in. Frost Queen won't just leave him standing there dazed. She teases that it's just growing pains, but Jun-ho isn't laughing. This day, this exact dream, is the day his parents died, back when monsters had already swallowed the region whole, and safety was a memory, not a promise. Around the table, his parents are arguing, his mother begging them to stockpile food and pack emergency bags before it's too late, his father snapping back that they can't make wild decisions over a job and a paycheck. The fight boils over, his father shouting that if he dies out there, it's on both of them, and young Jun-ho just watches, helpless. Trapped inside Piglet's Dream Soul Circle, Jun-ho relives the night his parents died, the memory that haunts him most. He decides the only way out is to walk past them with no emotion, no regret. Frost Queen agrees to watch over him so he doesn't lose himself. He steps into the hallway and his father spots him. His parents fuss over him like it's any ordinary night, dinner, homemade kimchi, small talk about fermenting stew for later. Jun-ho plays along, eating with them one last time in a world that no longer exists. Jun-ho brings up their earlier argument, apologizing for talking back about the danger outside. His father brushes it off, telling him he did nothing wrong, but still insists he focus on being a normal student, not carrying the weight of the world. His father promises they'll always protect him, that all he needs to do is work hard and enjoy each day. Jun-ho chokes out a simple "Yes, Dad." Before he can say more, Frost Queen's voice cuts through the memory, warning him time is running out. He heads for the door as his mother tells him to be careful. Back in the real world, his hood-clad body trembles, fists clenched, snow swirling around him and Frost Queen at his side. Jun-ho whispers his answer, "Yes, I will. I love you," sealing the memory. Meanwhile, Remade is still slugging it out with Rosemary's brood, Piglet snarling that regeneration won't save him if they strike before he heals. Then Frost Queen's cry snaps everyone's attention. Jun-ho is awake, hauling himself out of the dream soul severance circle that's supposed to be inescapable without outside help. Piglet reels, certain no one walks out of that circle unscathed, not without staring down a memory too crushing to forget. Jun-ho answers with a brutal burst of ice, slamming into him. Piglet crumples, gasping, and in his fear spits out the accusation, "Don't come near me, you monster." Piglet, still reeling from that ice burst, tries one last desperate play, hands up, begging surrender. But no real Slan order captain grovels like that, and Jun-ho isn't fooled for a second. He turns Piglet's own trick back on him, slamming him into the dream soul severance circle a second time. Sleep now. For good. The frost blast levels the ground around them, and Kwon Woo-jin, a legendary hero from an older generation, watching close by, can't hide his shock. Impressive, Jun-ho. That's insanely fast, so this is the frost power everyone's been talking about. Before he can finish, Rosemary's assault turns lethal and Remade steps in front of them all. "Leave it to me." Remade tears into Rosemary with one final, earth-shaking blow and flattens half a city block doing it. An official rounds on him afterward. "You did that on purpose, didn't you?" "No way, I wanted to send it off peacefully. The wreckage says otherwise." "Diaku will handle it." Someone sighs Diaku, the fixer stuck cleaning up every mess this fight leaves behind. The bill for all that damage turns into a gift instead. They'll rebuild the ruined estate as a tribute to Kwon Woo-jin's old heroics. Jun-ho, feeling like he's finally woken from his own dream, says his goodbyes, hailed now as the new hero. Next stop, Schubert territory, chasing a rare ore the dwarves tipped him off about, Frost Queen tagging along for the ride. On the road, the group splits. Hunt, the hunter assigned to escort Jun-ho's crew, calls it quits. "My babysitting hours for you are officially over." He grins, waving off his whole share of the reward. Jun-ho and Frost Queen press on alone, bound for Schubert territory, said to be the most glamorous frontier around right now. In Schubert territory, a Duke's council is unraveling. Night patrols haven't stopped the attacks, 7 dead already, and the hired mercenaries are useless. The threat has a name, Telja, a disaster-class storm invader, faster than the wind itself. Why a monster like that picked their estate as its hunting ground, nobody can explain, and the panic is getting harder to bury. The stakes just got bigger than lives. Word of Telja getting out means bankruptcy for the Empire's second biggest trade hub. The Duke turns on his aide, Damien. Has he found Horizon's Edge? The one weapon that can drive Telja off. Damien's still searching. Furious, the Duke sets a deadline. End this by month's end, whatever it takes, weapons, mercenaries, anything. Then the council itself gets hit. "We're under attack, protect His Highness." But it's already too late. An arrow catches the Duke clean in the face. Cut to the truth, it's Jun-ho, bow drawn, Frost Queen circling beside him. "I fired like you said, did it hit?" Yeah, it hit the target perfectly. One cold question lingers. Will Gilberto count this as a long-hanging fruit too? Jun-ho checks in on Frost Queen, the ice spirit bound to him, after she drinks in power stripped from a fallen soul. Then lines up a shot no ordinary archer could make, her voice talking his aim higher, further left, notch by notch, while their dwarf contacts wait on him to finish. The arrow screams out and buries itself dead center in a portrait across an impossible distance. Guards swarm the shooter, only to find Jun-ho standing calm, hands raised, introducing himself as the player who hunted the monster Jambai. Then someone spots the bow in his grip and freezes. Horizon's Edge, the weapon their whole territory has been hunting for. Jun-ho owns the stunt as the fastest way to get noticed, and the guards march him straight into the estate. Inside, the Duke, ruler of the Schubert lands, laughs with relief. His months of quiet crisis might finally be over. Telja isn't just raiding livestock anymore. The storm monster has started hunting his own people. The Duke lays out why nobody's touched Telja. Its feathers shrug off blades and arrows. Its wings span dozens of meters, yet it darts like a hawk. And the storm it kicks up bends bullets clean off course. Jun-ho points out arrowheads cut truer than lead, and with Horizon's Edge in hand, they can finally reach a shot Telja can't outrun. Thrilled, the Duke offers rare cerium ore as payment. Frost Queen notes the bow's weapon mastery makes the shooting itself easy, but Remade, a battle-scarred ally still catching his breath, insists the real fight demands instinct earned in battle, not raw skill. All eyes turn to Damien, the Duke's guard captain, who names the legendary bow on sight and explains how its draw multiplies an arrow's punch. The Duke marvels at how light the fabled bow feels for something so deadly, itching to see it drawn again. Jun-ho shrugs off the flattery. It was reflex, he says, but the Duke isn't done. Threading an arrow through that portrait from an insane distance is proof enough of real skill. It was a reflex, Jun-ho insists, but the Duke isn't finished handing out orders. He turns to Damien. Next time Telja attacks, the bow is his. Damien balks, pleading he can't, but the Duke won't budge. Instinct and battle scars matter more than form here, and Damien has both. Jun-ho watches quietly, already certain. Reluctant or not, Damien has to be the one to carry this. 2 days is all the peace Damien gets. Fierce winds start howling out of nowhere. Telja's calling card, kicked up every time the storm monster takes flight. It's lazy by nature, rarely showing itself, but when it does, the damage is catastrophic. Archers take their positions, bows strung, eyes on the shifting clouds, and the weather's already turning before anything's even in sight. The wind rises exactly the way the Duke warned, and a monstrous silhouette tears free from the storm clouds. Telja has finally shown itself. Jun-ho steadies as the guards scream the order. Fire, left wing only. Arrows streak up through the dark, and Damien, the guard captain saddled with Horizon's Edge, mutters that whatever happens tonight, he's walking away with more than 100 kilos of bounty. Damien stares up, stunned. This thing is bigger and meaner than any report described. Right wing this time, he calls, and the volley flies again, but Telja banks clean through it, untouched. That rascal, Damien snarls, watching it dodge everything they throw. Then it answers with a gust that nearly rips the archers off their feet. Jun-ho lays it out. Horizon's Edge only gets one real window, that half-second when Telja soars or dodges, and one clean hit is all that ends this. Damien stalls, and Jun-ho cuts straight through the excuse. This was never about archery skill. Damien's just terrified that failing here destroys the rank and position he spent years protecting. You're too afraid to even loose one arrow, Jun-ho says, and something in Damien finally breaks. He draws ice light flaring down the shaft and fires. It lands. Jun-ho shouts the real target, the mouth. Damien's next shot drives straight into Telja's open jaws. You did it. The others cheer, and Damien barks the follow-up, area now, shoot. Damien's chains are shredding under Telja's thrashing. He yells for the group to fall back and reset. Jun-ho waves him off. This fight's his now. He slams overclock to 70% and rockets after the beast, legs screaming, clinging to the trailing harpoon line. Gasping, he realizes Telja isn't only fleeing, it's riding the storm home, so they'll build one of their own. Frost Queen, the ice spirit bound to Jun-ho, warns him to hold tight. She's never tried this before. She rips into the raging winds and forges them into a storm of their own, chasing Telja straight into the chaos. The turbulence nearly tears them apart, and Frost Queen snaps at him for even attempting something this reckless, then screams at him to just hold on. The impact lands, Telja's grounded, and Frost Queen whoops that they actually did it. But the beast rears up to flee again. It refuses to surrender. Jun-ho, lungs burning, realizes his own gasping is throwing off his aim. Steadying himself, he spots the opening and freezes it solid, a clean finishing shot that drops Telja hard. Frost Queen crows it's exactly the creative move she'd wanted. But the wind costs him. Jun-ho goes limp in midair and starts plummeting. Frost Queen scolds him for blacking out again, calls it a genuine bad habit, then begs him to hold on to whatever strength he's got left as she keeps him aloft. A strange technique ignites around them, and off in the dark, two unseen watchers react with quiet disgust at what they're seeing. Those watchers are Gilberto, an operative quietly tracking the group's every move, and his partner Roan. They trade complaints about the Order of Gluttony, the shady faction that keeps planting demonic gems inside monsters like Telja, always leaving others to clean up the mess. Back in the storm, Jun-ho crashes toward the ground, barely conscious, insisting he's not dead yet and begging Frost Queen for a foothold. She catches him, but warns his willpower's at rock bottom. Damien's arrow rockets down like a comet of red light while Frost Queen can only watch, powerless as Jun-ho drops through the storm. Below, the guard captain feels the rescue line snap taut. Reel him in, he orders, everyone grab hold, don't let it spring back. We save him no matter the cost. The line goes wild, a shockwave of wind tearing the sky apart as screams erupt below. Hold your positions, the captain bellows, trust the rope. Then, through the chaos, a ragged cheer breaks out. We did it, they shout. We actually pulled him in. Jun-ho dangles from the rescue line half-conscious, his ice magic tapped completely dry. Let go, he begs the men hauling him in, afraid of dragging them down with him. They refuse. The crowd catches him as he crashes into their arms. Am I alive? He croaks. Very much so. The guards erupt into laughter, hoisting Jun-ho up like a hero. So this is what you had us standing by for hours, one jokes, still shaking with relief. Long live the guard captain. Long live Jun-ho. 11 months and 270 days of terror in the Schubert territory finally end. Telja is officially, successfully hunted. Meanwhile, on a different front of humanity's fight, a colossal fire beast rears back, gathering power for another strike, the third-floor master Panacthos. Front lines fall to defense as one man holds his ground. Kim Woo-jung, a lone swordsman deliberately drawing the beast's fire onto himself. He's using himself as bait, someone gasps. Focus. This attack is not landing. Woo-jung's blade blurs faster than the eye can track, heartless blade swift, and then, in one merciless strike, sword carving rips clean through Panacthos in a blinding detonation. Watching from afar, his guildmates go quiet. It's over, one breathes. Today, our guild has been written into history. Fire and thunder roll across the ruined battlefield as spectators scramble closer. Stunned, the floor master might actually be down. No guild's forces are moving. The fight is clearly finished. Then sensors catch it, one lone figure walking out of the wreckage. It's the Sword Saint. Silent Moon's Kim Woo-jung just took down the third-floor master solo. The news breaks worldwide. Humanity's fourth floor has opened, courtesy of the Silent Moon Guild. Resting after weeks of treatment, Woo-jung learns of it from his own student, stunned it happened so fast. Word says it was a joint push with the Vellum and Sky Soul guilds, though whispers ask if Woo-jung simply stole the finishing blow. Judge for yourself, comes the reply. Back at the Duke's mountain camp, with the crisis finally over, Seo Jun-ho quietly packs to leave, but Remade isn't having it. If Jun-ho's going, so is he. Remade waves off any talk of returning to duty, gruffly ordering his own bag packed and grumbling that the food's getting cold. Later, Frost Queen catches Jun-ho up on business. The dwarves banked 200 kilos of cerium he sent, and words out the Silent Moon Guild just cracked the fourth floor. Mid-errand, Jun-ho's handler Pyoksky pings him for a status check, but Jun-ho's elbow-deep in a rescue, walking refugees out of the monster-plagued Outland alongside Gilberto. Pyoksky needles him about sneaking off for fresh air again, half joking, half warning him to report in if trouble finds him. Jun-ho admits he didn't wait for backup. He already cleared Paradise, where fiends had turned an orphanage into a slaughterhouse for kids and adults alike, scrubbing it clean solo with Gilberto. Frost Queen presses him on when he'll finally push for the 10th floor. He brushes her off, but she warns him plainly, leave the fiends unchecked and they'll swarm every floor beneath it. Jun-ho checks in on Gilberto's rescued patients, and the news is grim. Everyone was forcibly dosed with demonic energy, likely being groomed into fiend slaves or soldiers. Gilberto's cured worse before and swears none of them will turn. With that handled, Frost Queen steps in to heal the rest herself, joking she could do it in her sleep. A quest flashes into view. Sun's Revenge, Rank C, hunt down the fiend that poisoned Lord Dinius's people. Jun-ho hasn't finished it yet, and the guilt shows the moment he steps back into the ruined town he once called home, unsure he even has the right to return. Nearby, a boy sobs for parents who never came back. The boy is Kevin, shoeless, terrified his missing parents will think he's abandoned them if he isn't waiting right where they said. Jun-ho crouches beside him and makes a quiet promise. Go get new shoes, he'll wait here himself. Kevin looks up, startled, and the woman beside him just smiles. Mr. Jun-ho, she says. Jun-ho brushes off the thanks before it can land. He's not ready to wear a hero's name yet, not until he's earned it on his own terms. At the Jillian shelter, packed with rescued kids, he meets Si-yoon, titled the Saintess, now working as secretary. She's stunned he already knows the title she held before they'd even met. Sakaya, the estate's caretaker, greets the recovering young Lord Simus as Jun-ho looks on. Simus thanks his savior personally, healthier now, and declares a new dream, to succeed his father and become a great estate lord himself. Sakaya passes on one more promise. Jillian stays protected until it's fully rebuilt, and Simus is never facing it alone. Meanwhile, in a very different room, a horned demon lounges over wine, sneering at a bound, groveling human he calls vermin-proof. He laughs, that even a useless fool can crawl back from the dead. He waves off a stammered apology about a botched job, savoring every second of holding the power here. The demon keeps needling him, mocking the ruined job and pouring him a taunting reward drink straight from another demon's blood. The human bows low and turns to leave, but the demon can't resist one last jab and idle, hungry question about how he tastes. That question is the last mistake the demon ever makes. The captive's eyes flare crimson and the room erupts one brutal strike, and the demon is torn apart. A hooded figure steps into the wreckage to check the kill, warning that the Grand Duke will notice if this stays hidden, and gets a calm answer back. The demons won't be catching up to them first. Blood-soaked, the man laughs to himself and straightens his collar, stepping into the night like nothing happened. Whatever he just tore through was only the opening move. He's got a debt to settle. Under his breath, he sets the terms. Time to get started on the best revenge for his own death. Meanwhile, across the empire, the gates open at the Reuben capital's palace. A returning knight identifies himself Fane, Knight Commander of the Jillian Knights Order, back from the Jillian expedition and summoned before the Emperor. Walking the palace halls, he steadies his pace, remembering the discipline drilled into him back when he only dreamed of wearing this title. Fane coaches young Simus before the doors open. Forget young master. The iron-blooded emperor wants an adult standing before him, not a boy. Fane waits outside as Simus, now the formally recognized 12-year-old Lord of Jillian, steps alone into a glittering hall where Emperor Gauss van Reuben and 4 other territorial lords already wait. The Emperor lays it out cold. Fiends have overrun 5 of the Reuben Empire's 180 territories, terrorizing and isolating whole populations, and he's furious no one asked for help sooner. The lords admit the truth. Fiends burrowed into their communication systems first, cutting off remote territories like Jillian one by one before anyone even noticed. Pavo Lemegin, stripped of his title after losing West's son to the Fiends, warns the Empire that nothing stops this without direct intervention. Fala Schubert bristles, demanding command and resources instead of blame, and the meeting collapses into lords sniping over who suffered worse, each dodging responsibility for 11 dragged-out months of losing ground. The Emperor silences the bickering. Everyone here has lost something: wealth, trust, position, but for some it was family, the same wound he carried at 10 years old when he took this throne 30 years ago. He turns to Simus and asks what decision he should make. Simus doesn't flinch. Kill every single fiend in this land. I certainly shall, the Emperor answers, and the story cuts hard to a news broadcast blaring across the capital. Iron-blooded Emperor Gauss van Reuben has launched all-out war on the fiends, handing direct command to the Imperial Knights, vowing victory within a week. Jun-ho gapes at the screen, stunned, while Frost Queen wonders aloud just how strong the Saints really are. With the Emperor's army pressing the fiends back, Jun-ho's handler Pioksky sees the opening. With the 4th floor cleared, the fiends won't crowd the upper levels anymore, leaving the team free to push the tower to the 10th floor once their teammate Mio wakes in a few days. Then the Hunter Association ambushes Jun-ho in 3 days. They want Specter publicly crowned as the fallen fiend god's replacement. Jun-ho balks at playing poster boy, but the association's already printed his face on the cover under New Hope. To cover his hospital stay, they've quietly released reports claiming Specter can move freely, no room left to back out now. As the coronation video cues up, the message lands. The 9 heavens aren't just humanity's strongest anymore, and not everyone wearing that title means well. Meanwhile, a livestream catches the chaos. With the fiend god's seat empty, the 9 heavens scramble to crown a new power, and one name gets shouted loudest: the Lightning Lord. Someone protests, uneasy, that he's already been called back. The camera cuts to a lone tower under a darkening sky. Old rivals, it seems, are bound to meet again. A memory answers the question. Baek Jin-woo, a once-ordinary young disciple, punches out a bolt of raw lightning and can barely believe it worked. His master watches, unreadable, then says only 2 words, "It's yours." The lightning body flow, a legend's life's work, now belongs to his student. Years later, the mountain hideout empties out. The lightning lord packs light, insisting he needs nothing since the next generation can handle things now, while Jin-woo scrambles over socks and giddy nerves about returning to civilization. Walking down together, master and student share a quiet, proud goodbye to the place that raised them both. Something's wrong. The lightning lord grips his fist through a spike of pain, waving off a doctor and calling it just backlash from pushing his powers too hard. He sends Jin-woo ahead alone to check into their lodging, where a passing stranger stops the young man just to say thanks. His reputation already precedes him. Alone now, the lightning lord walks into a sunset gathering of old, dangerous names. The Bramble Queen, the Sorcerer of Death, the King of Corpses, the Dark Moon Vermilion Master. Not enemies today, exactly. He tells them he's grateful they waited until after his last moment with his disciple. Then, quietly, "Well then, time to decide whose funeral this is," he says. The Bramble Queen answers that the outcome's already fixed. The sky rips open as the old master unleashes everything he has left: lightning body flow, ultimate technique. The true descent of the lightning dragon, one final, devastating stand. The sky rips open with lightning as the lightning lord throws himself into the blast, roaring for his old rivals to come at him. The explosion swallows the mountainside, and through the smoke, Jin-woo's scream cuts loose. "Master!" One of the gathered rivals grins from inside a fiend-dread skeletal husk. He's drained a piece of the lightning lord's own anti-fiend core, and for one borrowed moment he can fight as the lightning lord did in his prime. "Old, sick humans are such fragile things," he sneers. Furious, the lightning lord roars back and lunges. The rival reels, stunned that a withered old man still hits with this much power. "But it's a needle, not real praise," he presses, guessing the lightning lord's last fight already cracked something inside him. The lightning lord snaps back. This rival used to run scared of him. Every year he held the line, he says, was borrowed time he handed the 9 heavens to grow strong. "Let's see how much you've grown," he snarls, and the two collide in a shockwave of claws and lightning. A crimson blast called inevitable annihilation tears through him, and the lightning lord doubles over coughing blood. His rival needles him not to faint on him now. That would be disappointing. Grinning through the blood, the old man answers by igniting his full technique, lightning body flow, then detonating its ultimate form, the swift lightning guard of heaven. The gathered legends hold back and let the lightning lord fight his fiend copy alone. He needs to prove, on his own, who still stands above whom. He beats the copy of his younger self to the ground, spitting on its offer of a second chance, a taste of demon blood that would remake him fiend. The watching lords mock him as a washed-up relic and clear newcomers to finish him off, but one voice insists his end is his alone to choose. The fiend needles him about the family he lost, watching from above, and something in him ignites. His eyes blaze as he tears open lightning body flow's ultimate form, a blinding column of raw electricity ripping into the sky, while the assembled legends fall silent and young Jin-woo screams for his master. The blast scours the battlefield down to ash and scorched rock. When the smoke clears, the lightning lord kneels alone in the wreckage, burned and shaking but breathing, as his people rush in gasping his name, terrified he hasn't made it. Years slip by. The war fades into memory, and the Lightning Lord walks free under an open sky, a small smile creasing his face, striding through a sunlit field of flowers while children run and laugh ahead of him. The peace he bled for, finally real. In the present, Seo Jun-ho preps his coronation guest list with Frost Queen at his side, planning to personally invite the retired Lightning Lord home now that gates no longer plague the world. Then his disciple Baek Jin-woo bursts in, panicked. The Lightning Lord's mountain home lies shattered, and the old man is nowhere to be found. Jun-ho's group picks through the wreckage of the Lightning Lord's mountain home, nothing but ash, not one recovered body, ground scorched into glassy fulgurate where raw lightning tore through rock. No survivors, they confirm and keep searching. Whatever hit this place, the old master went down swinging hard enough to shatter a mountain. Jin-woo breaks down, sobbing that his own carelessness got his master killed. Frost Queen, the ice spirit bound to Jun-ho, performs a grim rite, confession of the dead, and confirms it. He fell delivering his final blow. Jun-ho kneels beside them, quietly hunting for an excuse, anything that lets him grieve without also owning the blame. A cold voice inside him won't let it go. Does he secretly believe beating the fiend god sooner would have spared his master, that he's the one who really killed the Lightning Lord? Jun-ho shuts it down. That's a thought only the masked Specter would believe. Guilt makes an easy villain, and he refuses to hand himself the blame just to have someone to hate. Alone by the water at sunset, Jun-ho gets company. Frost Queen passes on words her own father once told her, keep moving, because happiness is the reward waiting at the end of it. She tells him she's watched him grow this whole time, shining brightest when he lived as himself and not just as the world's hero, and promises she'll always back him. Jun-ho admits quietly, he'd been waiting to hear exactly that. Weeks later, the crowds pack in for Jun-ho's induction into the 9 heavens. Guild leaders arrive one by one to a wall of flashing cameras. Sun Ki-won, the Silent Moon Guildmaster, Kim Woo-seung, the Blade legend known as Sword Saint, and Shin Sung-hyun, the Oak Sword Guildmaster, each greeted like a celebrity as fans scream and reporters scramble for a shot. A reporter cracks that this ceremony is really the start of a purge, fiends losing their grip on the 9 heavens now that their god is dead. Then the crowd spots him. Specter has arrived. He walks through the cheering line in silence, the fiend god's old taunt echoing in his head that people who protect others without asking a price are just weak hypocrites. He doesn't look like he believes it. Long before any of this, the fiend god hides behind a human face, and someone finally corners him, accusing him of cowering in shadows while others bleed for him. Frost Queen steps forward herself. Not a guild, not Specter, her. The fiend god smiles and accepts the challenge outright, and the fight ignites in fire and blood. The clash ends in a blinding wall of ice and flame, and Frost Queen goes down, Tenmei Mio, the warrior she once was, defeated. Meanwhile, on another front, soldiers snap to attention as Kim Woo-seung, the Sword Saint, returns to his unit. Their captain cuts the reunion short. Sheath your swords, the mission isn't over, there's a battlefield waiting. For a moment, the noise fades. Jun-ho stands alone in frost-forged armor, Frost Queen curled at his shoulder, the weight of everything he's carrying held behind one steady, unreadable stare. Further back still, on the crumbling 3rd floor of a stronghold called Balborton, gunfire chews through the dark. How long will these rascals keep cowering? A soldier snarls, laying down cover fire while another taunts the enemy gunners, daring them to run dry first. The order comes down hard. Don't stop, no matter what. A system window flashes before the squad, the curse of Helcure purified. Then a second warning 3 minutes until primordial light appears. 3 minutes. You want us to wait that long? Cromadut, hot-blooded and itching to charge, snaps. Gilberto, his steadier squadmate, holds him back. Get careless now, and the enemy only grows stronger. Something out in the smoke seems to like the sound of that. A voice cuts through the chaos. Jun-ho. Specter has arrived, and he answers by calling down a spiraling column of ice that swallows the battlefield whole. You guys aren't adjusted to this era yet. He tells them enemies don't fight fair anymore. The squad rallies behind him, fire and steel crashing into the beast's roar, until a blazing finishing strike, the crimson fist blade lights up the dark. The last fiend goes down in a wash of crimson flame, and Cromadut throws up his hands. Jun-ho's stolen his finishing blow again. Before the laughter fades, the sky splits. Sona, spirit king of every flame in existence, descends as Balborton's guardian. Impressed by the clean sweep, she offers a boon, and Jun-ho asks for something specific: name every last fiend still hiding on this floor. Meanwhile, in a smoke-free office high above the city, the association chairman corners Sun Ki-won, Silent Moon's guildmaster. Since Specter's public stunt and Sword Saint's sudden return, the guilds are furious that the 5 heroes hog every floor-clearing job. Alliances are forming to rein the heroes in. Ki-won has a different plan. Bring Silent Moon in as an ally to the heroes themselves, catching the chairman off guard. Rewind again. Panic spreads on the front lines. The fiends have already overrun the first 2 floors, and someone screams they'll reach the 3rd next. Jun-ho silences the noise and turns his eyes on the last one standing, the fiend leader of Pandemonium's gluttony. Dying, the fiend laughs anyway, needling him. If people back home saw what a hero does down here, would they still call it heroism? Do you know how many people you killed today? The fiend spits, and Jun-ho has no answer, just a pained breath. Cut to now. Jun-ho sits alone on a rooftop at night. The system pings 0 fiends remain. His quest resolves. The sun's enemy hunt and kill whoever poisoned the noble Simus Jillian. Complete. No relief in his face, only the weight of it. Elsewhere, a different team is in trouble. In a hot spring cave, 3 exhausted advanced team players admit the truth. They're stuck on the 4th floor, and only a hidden save point, a checkpoint like in a game, can get them out. Why Chanan used it to slip out and catch his breath. They agree to keep it secret from their guilds, the association, even the public. Back in the cave, the tally lands grim. Aside from Wai Chanan, no one from the Big 6 Guild's advanced team made it out of the 4th floor. Then, rewind, Balborton's fires have cooled, and ordinary players can finally walk the 3rd floor. Word spreads of quiet, unpaid heroes, goodwill builds, and someone jokes that free food and shelter should be thanks enough. They cleared every fiend without losing a single reward, and Chairman Diaku marvels. The guilds don't see mercenaries anymore, they see heroes. Mio sips her tea, bitter and glad to be home. It's taken 27 years since their return to fight back to this spot, the 3rd floor. Jun-ho won't slow down. More floors, same mission. Skaya the mage, hot-headed Ramadat, and steady Gilberto itch for the 4th. Word comes back from the 4th floor. It favors small, elite squads over numbers. Chanan pairs himself with the swordsman Kim Woo-sung, held in reserve since the Lightning Lord Fiend scare. A second advanced team is forming, and even the Rengoku facility, a prison ship packed with the world's worst criminals, sends troops, backed by Silent Moon's Sun Ki-won. Then the argument turns dark. Fiends from the recent attacks surrendered instead of dying, and some now argue even fiends deserve rights. Jun-ho wants them executed, no debate, but Chairman Diaku points out times have changed since the invasion. though even he doubts a fiend can truly surrender. Still, he accepts the alliance, ready at last to meet the man requesting an audience, Cheon. Talk turns to the swordsman everyone calls the world's finest blade. Jun-ho admits he's earned it, though won't rank him above every rival. Alone, he asks Mio if she's visited her family since returning. She hasn't. They never came looking. Elsewhere, guild leaders panic. One of Cheon's men is back from the fourth floor, and the five heroes' unbroken streak threatens to erase every rival guild. The council fears Jun-ho Specter, the one man who survived the fiend god alone, will let his five heroes hoover up every remaining floor. Then Tenmei Yugo, master of the Divine Order Guild, stands for them. Don't lose your dignity, don't let brute force retire you like museum relics. He wins the argument. The five heroes wait their turn. The next push to the fourth floor belongs to the guilds instead. Meanwhile, in a shadowed server room, a masked broker leans on a silent contact who still won't talk. Mid-sized guilds are just the opening move. They warn, without full control of the five heroes, even the giants lose their grip. Stay until the cause is finished, they say, then vanish into the dark. At the courthouse plaza, reporters swap nerves before Mio's first public appearance in decades. Then gasps ripple through the crowd. The five heroes don't arrive by airship. They simply teleport in. Jun-ho steps to the mic first, bowing to the cameras. "Thank you all," he says, "for remembering heroes the world had almost written off." Jun-ho presses on. "For 26 years and 7 months you kept our memory alive. So now the five heroes repay that debt the only way they know, by restarting the push through the floor wars." But before the applause fades, a reporter pushes back. "Why are you the only ones cleared for the fourth floor?" The questions turn hostile. Over 500,000 players are stuck on the waiting list. One reporter argues, demanding proof the five heroes didn't just cut the line. Jun-ho doesn't flinch. "Prove we broke procedure," he says, "and if we truly uphold the law, no one has reason to suspect us." So Jun-ho lays it out. A year before the Antarctic floor closed, a gate called Izmir failed 27 challenges and got branded unconquerable, until the five heroes cracked it anyway. For that, the World Players Association quietly granted them one standing right. Free reign to intervene in any case still marked unconquerable. Now Jun-ho cashes that right in. As Specter, he formally declares the fourth floor unconquerable and announces the heroes are forcing their way through it themselves. No legal or moral line crossed, he insists, since survival always came before rules. Other players could once follow in after them, under Izmir's clause not anymore. Jun-ho confirms it plainly. The fiend god and the surrendered fiends are still alive, a resource too valuable to risk losing. Every choice carries a cost. He says the heroes will go in first, bearing the full weight of it, cheers and criticism alike. Alone afterward, he pores over a torn, cryptic note warning that someone means to reclaim a throne. Jun-ho pockets that torn warning and turns to the team. Kanemaru grins, born ready. Mio channels Sakya's teleport gate, and the group vanishes in light straight onto the fourth floor, only to land in the middle of an ambush that nearly takes Jun-ho's head off before his boots even touch ground. A stranger steps forward. Cheon-ho, leader of the Heavenly Dragon Guild. Jun-ho introduces himself as leader of the five heroes, but Cheon-ho freezes, recognizing the old name instead. Senior Specter. Jun-ho waves it off. "Just call me Jun-ho." Behind them, a familiar face goes quiet. Kim Woo-jung. Years since Jun-ho and Woo-jung last stood face to face, back then as Specter, now simply as Seo Jun-ho. Woo-jung doesn't smile. He states it flat. He put down a fiend named Sagner right on this spot. An hour ago proof the fourth floor is already crawling with danger before the team takes a single step. Jun-ho shuts down any argument as of this moment. Nobody touches Woo-jung. Woo-jung finally admits it. Sorry for deceiving everyone all this time. But Jun-ho won't accept the apology. He'd have done the same in his shoes. Then the assembled hunters bow together, apologizing for failing to protect the world while the heroes were gone. Woo-jung won't even take the offered hand, insisting he doesn't deserve it not until he's repaid some of what this era owes, begging one more chance at forgiveness. Jun-ho cracks a joke instead. Someone stole his title, he ought to sue for copyright. Mio smooths it over, then snaps the mood back to business. The fourth floor, she says, is nothing but quests, start to finish. Jun-ho lays out the floor unlike the second floor's crowds or the third's oceans and savannah. This one is wall-to-wall cities and empty ones. The only rule that matters, he warns, is survival, like being marooned on a deserted island. Before anyone can push further, the gate swallows the group in light, and they step out beneath towering spires in another world. Mio asks the obvious question: if it's survival, are there even enemies, or just game rules? Jun-ho hesitates, promising to explain later, and hurries the group forward before sundown night. He warns, is when real threats start moving. Staring at the skyline swallowing the horizon, he wonders privately whether this whole abandoned city is the quest itself. The city sprawls out untouched and utterly empty, fresh air, a stunning view, not a soul in sight. Dead or just gone, not even Chin-hak knows. Behind Jun-ho, Kanemaru asks if the Sword Saint can be trusted. Jun-ho vouches for him, the most helpful fighter of this era. Turns out Chin-hak's role model was Specter all along. No wonder he looked so shaken. Before the mission talk even begins, Mio quietly whips up a batch of pancakes for the whole group. Woo-jung and the senior hunters wave it off, insisting hardtack's fine, still too humbled after everything to accept comfort from the woman they let down. Jun-ho just thanks her and eats anyway. Mid-bite, a strange scratching noise creeps in from outside. Mio catches it first. Something's moving out there. The group steps out to look, and the city beyond has gone pitch black. This is exactly the danger Jun-ho warned them about. Night has arrived, and it isn't empty anymore. The threat has a name. Supersized cockroaches, the only monster this floor ever spawns, but grown to a nightmare scale. Chin-hak recalls surviving a massive swarm of them here once, fighting alongside Woo-jung as Specter. Even so, he warns, these new ones are on another level entirely.